Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So as you've all been enjoying my cookery videos, I've tried to do another one for you, and this time it is 4 slow cooker recipes that I have used regularly, that I actually enjoy. You know how some can be a little bit hit and miss, so I'm sharing them with you here today. I've included all the ingredients and step-by-step instructions in this video, but there's also everything listed down below in the description bar as well, so if you find that easier to like copy and paste or refer to, then you can do. But I'm going to get into it, and I hope that you really enjoy it. So recipe number 1 is for a slow cooker chicken korma. This is a staple in our house. The kids really like chicken korma, and it's a nice way to introduce a little bit of flavours and spices, but without it being too hot as well. Now I know this isn't a traditional curry, and I appreciate that for anyone that's watching. This is just one of those bog standard English ones, but I still think it's quite tasty, and it does require a tiny little bit of cooking on the hob before you use the slow cooker, but it's not too tricky, I promise. So yeah, here's recipe number 1. So for this recipe you are going to need a mixture of vegetable oil and butter. You're going to need some garlic, which you're going to crush. I have 2 chopped onions here as well, and then I have some Greek style yogurt here. You can use natural yogurt as well. I've got a tin of coconut milk, a jar of korma paste, some big handfuls of spinach, and then just some chopped chicken breast chunks here, and that is all you're going to need. So to start off, you're just going to add some oil and some butter into a frying pan, and this is one of those recipes where I like to cook off the onion and garlic first along with the curry paste, because I just think it enhances the flavour. Personally, I think there's no point using the slow cooker if it's not going to taste as good. So in this pan we've got the onion and the garlic, and I'm just cooking those off, and then I'm going to add the jar of korma paste and just make sure that that is all out of there. I also like to add in a little bit of water just to rinse it out and add that to the pan as well, and then I'm going to stir that and let the spices and the flavours cook off in the pan for a little bit. Then I'm going to transfer that to the slow cooker along with my spinach and give that a very good stir, and then I'm going to follow that up with my coconut milk. So you'll see the coconut cream at the top and then the watery stuff underneath, and then also some natural or Greek yogurt. I'm going to give that a big stir to combine, and then I'm going to go in with my chicken and stir that again. And then all you're going to do is pop the lid on, and I like to cook this on low for around 6 to 8 hours, but I'll put all of the details down below for you. Then when it's nearly done, I like to give it a good stir and scrape off the sides, and if it does need thickening, this is my little tea towel trick, and I just put a clean tea towel on in between the slow cooker and the lid, and that will absorb a little moisture to help thicken your sauce slightly if you need to. And then I'm going to serve that with some rice, and this I like to cook with 1 part rice to 2 parts water, and I cook it in a pan until you see those little holes start to form, and this is it all served up. So this here is Daisy's, that's Stanley's, and then this portion here is Bill's, and we just served that up with some naan bread, and it was very tasty indeed. So recipe number 2 is the easiest of all 4, and it only requires 3 ingredients as well, and it is slow cooker pulled barbecue chicken. Now I've tried a few recipes like this over the years, and I find that some are too complicated or they include too much sugar, and I feel like this way just keeps it nice and simple, and then you can serve this pulled chicken however you like. But let's get into the recipe. So the next recipe is really easy and very tasty too, and it is slow cooker barbecue pulled chicken, and it's great. You just need 3 ingredients, which is chicken, Worcestershire sauce and barbecue sauce. So I've added my chicken to the slow cooker, and I've added both of the sauces. I'm just going to mix to combine until that's all nicely coated, and then I'm going to pop that on low for about 6 to 7 hours. Then once that's done, I'm going to take the chicken out of the slow cooker and shred it with 2 forks. This is really easy to do because the way it's been cooked, it's nice and melt in the mouth, and it pulls apart really easily. And then when that's all done, I'm just going to return it to the slow cooker and mix it in with all of the juices and the sauce that's left over, and I just give it a good stir to combine. And then when you are ready to serve, this is how we served it. We had some salad and some brioche rolls and some onion rings here, and I topped ours with a little bit of cheese. The kids had theirs earlier because Bill had a swimming lesson, and they had exactly the same as us, and it was absolutely amazing. Now next up is a slow cooker beef stew. This is a great one for like a Sunday dinner, that kind of thing, and it's very, very easy, simple and hearty, and you get some good veggies in there as well. And it's been one that I've cooked numerous times when I just haven't fancied watching the oven or doing too much cooking on the hob as well. So I've got some diced beef here. I have 1 chopped onion. I've got a couple of cloves of garlic that have been crushed. Then I've got a large carrot that's been chopped to similar size as the beef, along with some mushrooms. And then along with that, I have some Dijon mustard here. You could use any mustard. I've got a bottle of ale. I've got a bay leaf and some salt and pepper, and also some thyme, and then a stock cube as well. I've also used some plain flour here to thicken the sauce, which I'll show you how to do that in a second, along with some Worcestershire sauce as well. So what you want to do is pop your beef in the slow cooker along with the flour and stir to combine, and this will help give you a thicker sauce. Then you want to go in with your onion, your garlic, your bay leaf, your thyme and your mustard along with your Worcestershire sauce as well. Stir and then add your veggies and stir again. Then once that's all done, you're going to go in with your ale. If you don't want to use ale, you could use beef stock here. You could use a mixture of beef stock and wine. You just want to make sure you're just covering it, as you can see this ale is doing here in my slow cooker. Then give that one last stir, and then once that's all done, you're going to pop the lid on. Now you can cook this on high for around 6 hours or low for around 10 hours. It's entirely up to you. And also I didn't put potatoes in this because I'm doing mash on the side, but if you want to add your spuds into the slow cooker, you absolutely can. Once that is cooked, I'm just going to give that a good stir, and I'm going to taste it and then season it with salt and pepper, or sometimes a little bit of sugar brings out the sweetness of the veg, or even some tomato ketchup, which is a bit of a trick of mine. And then to serve up, we have some creamy mash, as I've mentioned, and also some Yorkshire puddings, and I'll leave the method for how I make those down below. They're really, really nice to have and mop up the gravy, and it's an alternative to using bread. Another thing I have to have with stews is also brown sauce, which is a bit weird. And yeah, that was really, really tasty and made Sunday very, very easy for me too. Now the fourth and final recipe is slow cooker meatballs tortellini, and I have prepared this one with those of you in mind who work full time and you're working away from home and you're at the office or elsewhere during the day, and it includes like lots of pre-packaged ingredients to make it super quick and easy for you. But the nice thing is that you are making a tomato sauce from scratch, so there's no additives or preservatives, and you know exactly what's gone into it. And it just means that when you get home, if you've got kids, you can just chuck the tortellini in and go and spend some time with them, or get a few like chores or whatever you need to do done without having to spend too much time cooking instead. So I hope you enjoy. So now to make the meatball tortellini. This is all you're going to need for this recipe, and you can start off with some meatballs. You can make your own or buy them ready-made like I have here. Depends how much time you have either in the morning or on that particular day. I've got 2 packets of fresh tortellini. I have the 4 cheese here, but you could pick any type that you like really. I've got 2 tins of chopped tomatoes, some tomato puree, 3 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to crush. I've got a mixture of cheeses, some parmesan and mozzarella and cheddar mix. I have some sweetener here just because I've got it in. You can use sugar as well. And then I have some salt and pepper and some oregano. So this one's really easy. You're just going to add your tomatoes to your slow cooker along with your tomato puree. And then once that's in there, you're going to follow up with your garlic, your sugar, and then also your oregano as well. And then what I like to do is season now with a little bit of salt and pepper, but I will of course taste this at the end just to make sure that all the flavours are nice and balanced. You're going to give that a big stir, and then you're going to go in with your meatballs. So just throw them in there and then pop the lid on, and you can cook this on low for around 6 to 8 hours. I try and keep this one on low because the idea is you can make it if you were going out for work, and it will keep quite well on low for a while. After the time is up, I like to give the sauce a quick taste and season as necessary, and then I go in with the tortellini. You just give that a quick stir, and then also follow up with some cheese if you'd like. Any cheese will do, you don't need to be picky. Cheese is never a bad thing, is it? And then I stir and leave that to cook for around 10 or 15 minutes until the tortellini is nice and cooked through. And we served ours with some salad and also some garlic bread. So that's mine and Mark's, that stands there, and then that is Daisy's, and that is Bill. And this went down really, really well with the kids, and that's it. So that is the end of this video, and I hope you found it useful and it might give you a little bit of inspiration. If you ever do cook any of them, by all means feel free to tag me over on like Instagram and places like that, because I would love to see that it might have helped you out for one meal time during your busy weeks. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day whatever you're up to, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!